good morning, and thanks so much for joining us. This is the time of year when families and students are zeroing in on their college choices and trying to figure out how they're going to pay for it, and that means it's a good time to check in with former Congressman and UMass Lowell Chancellor Marty Meehan, who's been president of the UMass system since 2015. President Meehan, always good to see you.
Great to see you, John.
Thanks for coming. So let's talk a little bit about the flagship, UMass Amherst. Revenues increased by 3.5% in the last fiscal year. Meanwhile, inflation's close to 8%. You've got a $1.2 billion deferred maintenance backlog. Does all this mean budget cuts and/or student cost increases are coming?
Well, actually, we've done a pretty good job keeping any increases in tuition below inflation. And in fact, 2 years, we kept it even. So we're doing everything we can to be more efficient. For example, we make sure that we buy in bulk. We have a purchasing system that unites all the campuses, so we find efficiencies wherever we can. In fact, we've saved $85 million. So we're going to do the best we can to keep keep tuition affordable. The other thing, though, John, that's important is we provide significant financial aid, need-based financial aid to students. So the sticker price is one price, but every time we have increased tuition, 20 to 30% of the money goes to need-based financial aid. And in my 7 years at UMass, we've increased that by 60%, the amount of money we put into institutional financial aid. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure UMass is affordable, because it's critically important.
Well, look, colleges and universities across the country took a beating during the pandemic. Enrollments dropped sharply. UMass has weathered the storm better than some. But obviously, finances are a concern. Now the voters approved the so-called millionaire's tax, which will kick in next year and will bring, and we'll see how much it'll bring, but a billion or more, maybe billions. What's your message to the incoming governor and the legislature about what the share of that pie ought to be for UMass?
Well, first and foremost, I think the voters clearly indicated that they want a significant increase in the amount of money going to public higher education in this Commonwealth. And if you factor in inflation and look at state investment, it's actually over the last couple of decades has gone down by about 8%, factoring in inflation. So
let me interject. How do you figure that was the message from the voters? The ads that the Mass Teachers Association ran just showed grade school classrooms.
Because specifically when people voted for it, it says that money will go to transportation, education, but it specifically says public higher education.
Okay, all right.
And candidly, John, I'm worried about it, because it seems to me transportation, local aid, K through 12 education, all of those things have been more of a priority in this Commonwealth over the last 2 or 3 decades than public higher education. But I think the time has come. Look, when I graduated from UMass Lowell, I was able to work on weekends and in the summer and actually pay my entire amount for tuition and fees. Today you can't do that. So I think the voters have clearly indicated they want more money to go into public higher education. What would I suggest it go to? I'd like to see some of it go directly to students in the form of financial aid. The state hasn't kept up, for example, with the financial aid that we've done institutionally, which means it comes from student tuition. When I say institution, it comes from student tuition. The other thing is, John, over the last 2 or 3 decades, UMass has had to borrow significant amounts of money for deferred maintenance. I'd like to see the state step up like they do in many other states and actually put money in deferred maintenance of our buildings, our laboratories, all of those things. We're a research university. Our research has been growing dramatically, but we need to make sure deferred maintenance. You mentioned the number at Amherst. Well, we have 5 campuses. It's a major problem.
Okay, hear that, Governor-elect Healy? Thank you, Marty. We'll continue our conversation with the president of UMass, Marty Meehan, in just a moment, so stay with us. Welcome back to our conversation with the president of the University of Massachusetts System, Marty Meehan. And Marty, you worked pretty well with the Baker administration. Do you have any concerns about the return of one-party rule to this state?
I don't think so, because Maura Healey has been a pretty independent person. As an attorney general, I think she's made independent choices about how she ran her office, but also the issues she decided to take on. So I don't think so. I think that there'll be independence coming from the governor's office. I look forward. I feel good about her commitment to the University of Massachusetts and public higher education generally. So I don't think so. I think that there'll still be the kind of independent thinking coming from the governor's office that we've seen under Governor Baker. And frankly, you know, looking at the campaign, I thought that she, you know, I thought she was pretty independent thinking in terms of issues and the way she conducted herself in the campaign.
You know, I got to ask you, we had sitting where you are now last week, Congresswoman Lori Trahan, your former chief of staff down in Washington. You served, how many terms was it? Six? 6 or
14 and a half years.
14 and a half years. We make it sound like prison time, and maybe with good reason there. When you look at the Congress today and reflect back on your own experience, what do you make of it? I mean, would there be any amount of money that could persuade you to return to the Congress?
No, there really isn't. And I think what's most troubling to me is the fact that Democrats and Republicans can't seem to agree on anything. I don't think they work together as effectively as they did years ago. I mean, I think about somebody like Ted Kennedy, who was a standard in terms of being a legislator, and he had great relationships with Republican presidents, Republican members of the Senate, members of the House, and you just don't see that back and forth anymore. I worked on a campaign finance reform with John McCain and Russ Feingold in the Senate, and Chris Shays, a Republican from Connecticut, in the House, and we worked really hard together, and both parties came to an agreement to pass what was very difficult legislation at the time. So I think that's what I'm most concerned about. I'd like to see the partisanship. I think Governor Baker had it right this week when he said, you know, extremism on either side is just not good, and people kind of reject that. I think people want to see Democrats and Republicans figure it out.
Well, what needs to change to turn that around?
Well, I think the public needs to demand that both, you know, both parties be less partisan and work together. It's become something that I don't think anybody is thinking in terms of how can I meet the other side halfway, and that needs to change. But I think extremism, that's what makes it really difficult.
Speaking of extremism and political climates, let's get back to the UMass system here. Do the UMass campuses, are they places where diverse political opinions can be comfortably expressed? I think
they are. You see different points of views on all of our campuses. There is a dialogue with faculty. We have speakers from sometimes, you know, very, very different opposing views. So I think it is, but I think it's something we always need to work at. I think I talk to college presidents around the country, and it's something we have to keep vigilant about to make sure that all voices are heard, and that our universities are places where people learn to respect another point of view, and you can't respect another point of view if you never hear it. Yeah. So we need to work at it, as I say, but I do believe that UMass is a place with varying viewpoints. I was on the UMass campus for 8 years, and you know, I would meet with the Republican Students Association. We got them involved in debates and engagements. So I think it's critically important that we make sure all points of view are heard and respected.
You get your work cut out for you. Good luck.
Thank you. We'll keep at it.
Thank you for being here. Come back again soon. Give us an update.
Great to be with you.
That's Marty Meehan, president of UMass. And now it's time for me to turn it back over to my colleagues for more WBC News.